What's up guys, it's ALLDAYANTHONY. Welcome back to the CRZ vlog that you hopefully know and will eventually love, because in today's video, the CRZ is getting some much needed TLC. Let's go. Alright guys, welcome back to the CRZ vlog that you hopefully missed and hopefully want to see more of. I know it's been a while since I made a video on this car, and that's mainly been due to the weather. And we finally have some beautiful weather here in Idaho, so I'm excited to make some content on the CRZ. So anyways, I've owned this car for about 3 months, and I've been daily driving the living hell out of this thing, and it's filthy. I haven't washed it for about a month and a half, so I've only really washed this thing like 1.5 times. And yes, you heard that correctly, 1.5 times. So what I want to do is get this thing cleaned up for today's project and for some future projects that I want to knock out here in the next week. And so we're going to take it down to the local spray and pay, go get this thing rinsed off, get all the muck rinsed off of it, bring it back to the ALLDAYANTHONY Bat Cave, give it a proper wipe down, and then move on to the next step. So plans for today, I do want to kind of go over a couple of the things I've already done. For example, the roof wrap here, which I want to talk about here in a little bit. And then I also want to talk about the PDR and kind of talk about the before and after and how that turned out, because I know a lot of people want to know how the hell that dent got pulled out of that door. So other than that, we're going to be doing some touch-up repair today on a lot of the spots on this car that are just missing paint. So I'm going to use some Dr. Color Chip, go through, time-lapse that, and get that cleaned up. And then I also want to throw in my yellow DRLs on the headlights. And then lastly, I think the thing I've been looking forward to the most, a steering wheel emblem in blue for the steering wheel that I think is going to look just absolutely killer. So we'll throw that on as well today. All right, so that's enough talking. Let's hop in the car. Let's get this thing rinsed. So unrelated to anything we're doing today, I saw Batman last night. Oh my God, that's probably, that actually is my favorite Batman, next to the Dark Knight. I keep thinking about it today. It was so dark, it was so raw. It was just, I think it was everything I wanted, right? And I feel like that was a good representation. If like Batman were to exist today, like that's a pretty good look of like maybe what it would be. And so, I don't know, super dope movie, man. I can't wait to go see it again. All right, here we go. Nice open bay for me. AirPods going in. Alright, just finished up there. Now I like coming to this place mainly like during like the cold months where I obviously can't run my hose. I'll come rinse cars off and then bring it back to my house and do like a rinseless wash. So I get all the grime and stuff off, go back, and then use some good products once I get back to my house. Alright, back to the Bat Cave. Alright guys, so we just finished up with the wash, and the CRZ is looking squeaky clean and ready for some much needed touch-up paint. Now before we jump into that, I told you guys I would cover the other TLC bits that I've done, including the roof wrap and the dents that were on the door and the rear quarter there. Now I wish I would have made some dedicated videos on this, but I kind of dropped the ball. I filmed everything on my iPhone and it kind of turned out so-so. I'm just going to kind of overlay the footage here as I'm talking. So starting with the roof. before the roof wrap here, there was like catastrophic clear coat failure pretty much everywhere, and even here on the hatch portion. So instead of repainting everything, I thought that wrapping everything would probably be my cheapest option, and I also wanted a black roof on the car, so it kind of just worked out for me. So what I wasn't expecting though was how many dents were on the roof once we got everything cleaned up. And so once we saw everything, I knew I couldn't cover it in black because it would just make everything so much more noticeable. So I had to have Eric paintless dent repair pretty much everything on the roof of this car. And so my advice, never sit on the roof of your damn car. I see all these freaking kids all the time taking these pictures thinking it's cool to sit on the roof. Don't sit on your car, guys. It's not cool. So Eric had to go through and knock out all the dents. Now in order to do that, we had to drop the headliner here on the CRZ, which was a pain in the ass. So we had to go through the interior, take off all the moldings, all the trim pieces, the window visors and all that, drop that down, and then he was able to get up in there and start busting these out. And so we also tightened up the shark fin since that was loose as well. But yeah, a lot more work than I was expecting it to be, but it needed to be done. So after that happened, me and my friend Josh at work after hours knocked out the wrap here. So we used Avery Dennison gloss black, as that's what he likes to use, and so I picked some up, and I want to say we picked up about 3 yards total in order to do pretty much everything here. So we knocked out the roof portion first, laid that, tucked everything in underneath this trim, and then from there we knocked out the pillars. And so this was kind of its own section in itself. Then from there, we worked our way to the hatch here. Now, a cool thing that he did that I've never really seen before was creating a template to where we didn't have to remove the shark fin at that time. So we left the shark fin on, he created a template and made like a little cutout for it. So we slipped the wrap over the top without having to remove that since we had already buttoned everything up from PDR. So a super cool technique. So we did that on that as well as the little windshield wiper fluid here. So I think it turned out pretty damn good if I say so myself. And then we did knifeless tape here for the reason that when I put on the Mugen spoiler in blue, I think it will flow better using that body line as kind of like a cutout there. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think it looks tacky? Do you think it looks cool? I'm up in the air on it until we get the spoiler on, and then I can kind of give you my thoughts. All right, so moving on to what I think is the most impressive repair on this car yet has to be the PDR that was done on the door and on this rear quarter. PDR is called paintless dent repair, meaning that they repair it by remolding an area that's metal with a series of tools and hammers to basically prevent you from going to the body shop. As you guys know, this was completely bashed in here along with this door. The car must have hit a pole or something, and the body line was completely crumpled. I thought it would need a body shop fix for sure, but Eric, in all of his freaking wizardry, was able to remold this back into shape. Now, do you want to know what the coolest part about the entire thing is that I didn't film a damn thing on it. And I am so freaking mad at myself. I mean, we just got lost in, talking and just joking around, and next thing you know, the work was done. And so, super shitty. So, anyway, so this being crumpled in, he had to go through the side skirt. So he dropped the side skirt down, went through one of the side skirt holes, used a series of tools to get onto the back side and start working this out using a heat gun and tools. From there, he hammered the body line back into place. I mean, it was seriously like some rock sculpture shit. It was insane. The fact that he didn't crack the paint and there was no damage with everything he was doing, I've really never seen anything more impressive in terms of that. So he worked on this first, got this molded back, and then went to the door here. Now the door was just as bad because there was huge ridges cut into the door that he had to mold back. And once he was able to do that, he got the gaps back to being perfect, which is insane, and everything opens and closes as it should. In terms of PDR, I mean, this quarter was done, this door was done, the entire roof, and even on the pillar here, he had to glue pull a couple bits there, and I think there was one on the fender that he got out. There's still a few dents left over on the car, but I mean, they're pretty minuscule compared to what it was. And so, anyways, let's move on to the touch-up repair. All right, so paint touch-up is not the funnest thing to watch, so I'm not gonna bore you guys to death with every single second of every repair, but I just kind of want to show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, I have some chips here that are pretty gnarly, and I've already started to kind of rust out. And then over here on the other side, I have some pretty big gouges here. This would probably be one of the bigger touch-up repair jobs I've done, but I'm hoping that that'll turn out as well. And then there's just countless other random stone chips around the car. And so here on the back, there's a couple gnarly ones, and here's missing paint, and then down here as well, and then here. I mean, there's stuff all over the place. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of set up the camera, show you a before, show you a working shot, and then show you the after stuff. If you want to see a full breakdown of how I use the Dr. Color Chip system, I made a video on the white Civic of me going through and showing you all the tedious stuff. And so check that out if you want to learn how to do this for yourself. With that said, let's get started. All right, thought I'd take a quick break and give you guys an update. So I think that this bumper is probably the most extensive touch-up job I've done with the Dr. Color Chip stuff. It's not perfect, but I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than what it was. I pretty much had to fill up all, my hands are covered in paint. I had to fill up all that with paint and just kind of keep working it as it dries and keep going over it with more layers. But most scratches, I don't know, they're a little bit better. I'm not too worried about it because the Mugen lip is going to come up about at that halfway point. So really the only thing exposed is going to be everything up here. So I'm not going to touch up anything down there as it'll be covered. So pretty amazing though. I mean, I'm pretty jacked on how that looks. I mean, from up here, you wouldn't notice. You just walk straight past it. So a lot better, but still have more to do. Bumper, this turned out pretty good. I mean, much less noticeable for sure. The idea is that it's not going to be perfect, but it's just going to be a hell of a lot better than what it was before. So I'll show you guys a few more examples here on camera, probably here on the rear, and then probably this door here that started to kind of accumulate some rust on the chips. And then we'll move on to some funner stuff. And so I want to get those DRLs in the yellow. I think I got the Nokia bulbs, and then I'm going to throw on that Jay's Racing cover on the steering wheel, and we'll call it a day. So let's get back at it. All right, so we just finished up with the tedious touch-up repair for today. Now down the road when I go to compound polish and ceramic coat the car, I'll probably have to touch up a few more areas, but I'm looking forward to that day because the car's paint is already like relatively shiny, which tells me this car is really going to shine up because I don't think it's ever been professionally detailed in its life, and I think I could really make this thing glow. So looking forward to that, but in the meantime, we have a couple more things to do. So the Nokia yellow DRLs here, so 9005 from Nokia, these are going to go right here. Now I went through this whole debacle in my head on do I want to run yellow fogs or yellow DRLs, and I settled on yellow DRLs just because I think it's going to be a little bit more subtle, but down here I'll probably run like a bright white fog or I don't know, something like that. So I think it's going to look pretty good. So pop the hood, let's get at it. Oh shit. I didn't even know it did that. Most Hondas have a second latch, but like I completely just overlooked it. It's right there. Wow. Oh my gosh. Honda things, am I right? They think of everything, almost everything. All right, so our DRLs are actually, oh my gosh, that's super simple. They are right here. So that's easy on both sides. I thought it was gonna be much more complicated than that, but again, another reason why I like Hondas. So let's figure out how to do this. Got it. All right, so you gotta unclip the harness first. Once that's out, I think we can just twist our bulb and pull it out. Sorry, I know you guys can't see shit. Got it. Alright, so this side's gonna be on the tight side here, but I think I might be able to make it work without having to take the battery out, hopefully. I got it. Barely. Barely, barely, barely. Now, if I can just get my hand in there for everything else. Got it. Alright, so it's a tight fit, but you can get it in there, so I don't even know how the... Oh, that can be removed? Are you kidding me? Car shit in a nutshell. Like, what do I even... I've removed it. Now, how do you get it back in? You know what? I'm just gonna... I'll see you guys in a minute. Quick check, make sure they're working. Yeah, dude. JDM AF. That looks freaking good, especially with the blue HID. It complements it super, super well. Damn. What do you guys think? I think that was a good call. Especially going with the DRLs, also high beams, rather than the fogs. Sheesh. All right, so last thing on the list for today is the Jay's Racing badge here for the steering wheel. Is this a ricer thing to do? Absolutely. Do I care? Not at all, because I think it's gonna look a lot better than this being all chipped away. So, pull out our badge. It looks like it's just, yeah, it's just 3M taped on the back. And will that fit? Let's do a quick check. Yeah, I think that'll look fine, right? I think that's gonna look really good. So, what I'm gonna do for this, a little bit of rubbing alcohol, just to kind of prep the surface a little bit. Right there in the middle. Now, heat gun. Warm up this surface. Let's see. That looks good to me. That looks good to me, right? What do you think? Heat that up a little bit. Heck yeah, as my friend Levi says, good enough for the girls I go out with. I like it. Hell yeah. How does it look? Let's see, how does it look with the blue? Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. That looks super dope. Perfect match. Matches the stitching, too, so I'm pumped on that. Sweet. Done deal. Day of easy modding done. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Now I understand if none of this is particularly exciting to you, but trust me, it's a lot of these small details that add up to a great final result. So we still have a lot left to do. I have to get the Mugen kit color matched and thrown on the car, get the spoiler drilled and installed, get the hood hopefully resprayed, and then coils, wheels, tires, and then maybe a performance mod or two. We'll have to see how that goes. So anyways, hopefully you guys still dig the CRZ content. I promise this car is going to look absolutely badass once we're all done. I'm super excited for it. So anyway, if you guys enjoy the content, enjoy the CRZ content, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's ALLDAYANTHONY. Peace.